we look at marketing in perspective, and then we also look at job opportunities for marketers, career areas, and then training and development. And then we also share some perspectives in supply chain management. Obviously, I may be biased here because I'm a marketer, so I may throw more light on marketing than the supply chain management. But I'm also I'm an eminent member of the Chartered Institute of Supply Chain Management, Ghana, a subject area lead in the area of distribution chain. So supply chain also means a lot to me because we are trying to champion supply chain practice in Ghana. Okay. So I may want to ask a few questions. Is marketing just about selling and advertising? Oftentimes, we think marketing is just about selling. These are some of the misconceptions about marketing, that it's all about selling and it's all about advertising, making the noise to create awareness, convince or confuse customers to buy products that we have on offer. And again, is marketing just another cost center in the firm? Cost center is where we don't really place much value on it, and therefore anytime the firm faces some financial challenges, that may be one of the first areas to cut budget. But we must see marketing as an important area in the operations of the firm. So when we look at this definition, it tells us about the strategic relevance or importance of marketing in the firm. That if we are to look at the definition from the American Marketing Association, it tells us about being a set of activity, set of institutions and processes for creating, communicating, delivering, and exchanging offerings that have value for customers and for shareholders as well, or other stakeholders, including the firm. So we see this definition, and clearly it tells us that marketing goes beyond just selling. It goes beyond just advertising, and that selling and advertising are components or parts of the marketing process. So marketing is a strategic function within the firm, which requires that professionals in the area of marketing should also execute their roles very well to champion the growth of the organization, and that the success of the firm largely depends on marketing because the firm's success is about relationships that we build with our customers. It's about growing the customer base and who recruits or acquire the customers and retain them, and that is marketing. It is our duty to acquire customers and to retain customers. So you see that it goes beyond just selling and advertising. And therefore, it shouldn't be a cost center in the firm, but a strategic function in the firm. So we look at the progress of marketing. As I said, most of us always relate marketing to selling. And now we see that activities of marketing have changed and grown. In the past, it was all about distribution of products and services. That once I offer a product onto the market, the next is to get a product to the customer or convince the customer to buy the product. Okay, but then with time, marketing thought has changed. It has evolved. So now we look at marketing in relation to selling, promotion, planning, and forecasting, which is very critical in the job of the marketing manager. So the job of the marketing manager is not just to ensure sales is growing or doing well, but also to plan and forecast. To plan and forecast. And then also a variety of other business activities, in the sense that marketing is not only limited to the marketing department, but all areas of the firm are also part of marketing in what we call part-time marketers. So part-time marketers are those, for instance, in the HR department or operations or IT. Whenever they come in contact with the customer, they are representing the firm, they are marketing the firm. And so they are all part of marketing. So marketing is a holistic activity within the firm. So we say that it is a management function. And if something is a management function, then it goes beyond just selling. It goes beyond just advertising, but it requires a lot of management inputs. So we look at the relevance of marketing. Marketing is relevant across all areas. Every industry, every sector, or every organization requires marketing. So even you as a person, you are the personal brand, and you have to brand yourself. So when they asked me about my profile, that was my personal brand that I need to promote. And I said, I don't have any profile. Okay, so we need to promote ourselves. We need to brand ourselves. That's the personal brand. In addition, we need to market the activities of the firm, the services the firm has on offer, the products that we have on offer. In the end, it's about satisfying customer needs, and it's about creating value to the customer and to the firm. So whether it is public sector or private sector, marketing plays a critical role. We all have experiences in the public sector where you walk into an office and you are totally ignored as if you are some non-entity. Okay, and we all complain about it. Yes, it requires that we change our orientation, and that also requires the work of the marketer to change, to improve on customer service, speed of service, etc. So marketing cuts across all business functions, and that is the relevance of marketing. So once you take a degree in marketing, it makes you versatile because you can fit anywhere. Okay. So we look at some types of businesses that offer careers or opportunities in marketing. And here we are saying that marketing careers include all activities required to plan. We need to plan our activities in relation to what kind of product we want to offer or introduce onto the market. What kind of service do we want to offer? How are we going to execute the whole thing? How are we going to sell it? We need to plan. We need to look at the viability of that business, whether this product, if introduced onto the market, something that is going to be helpful, that something that is going to bring in more resources or money or value to the firm, and something that is also going to create value to the customer. We customers, I always say, are all selfish because it's all about what is in it for me. That is the value, the benefits of the product to the customer. And so it is or requires the marketer to plan, to convince the firm why there's a need to offer such a product, and also to develop products or services. And as I said earlier, we don't just get up and offer a product or develop something, but we need to assess its business viability, whether it is something that will sell, it is something that will meet the needs of the customer, and in the end provide value to the customer. So it requires a lot of creative thinking. As a marketing manager, you need to help develop new products to the company, look at what is trending. So before you develop, you assess the business environment, you assess your customers, you have to segment the market, understand their needs, why they buy, why they do what they do. So as a marketer, you need to know all these before you even develop the product and promote. Of course, once we have a product, we cannot just keep it under the table. We have to create the awareness. So we have to make the noise. And that is why marketing is always likened to advertising, or whenever you hear of marketing, the only thing that comes to mind is advertising. But advertising is one of the P's. So all these that we're talking about, develop, promote, distribute, all these talk about the marketing mix elements, the product, promotion. And promotion here, we talk about the advertising, what we see on the billboards, what we listen on radios, what we see on TV. All these, or even now on social media. So all these are means of creating awareness, okay, to let the customer know that there's a product that offers these benefits, that if you buy this, this is the value in it for you. So we need to promote using all the platforms available to the firm, social media, for instance, or we go to the traditional media where we use the radio or television or billboards to create the awareness so that customers will know that there's something happening or something coming or something on the market that would also offer value to them. And then distribute goods and services to the consumers. Once we've developed the product, we have to also push the product. We need to get the product to the final consumer, who is the customer. And here, the marketer should also be able to manage, especially if there are channel members. If it's a manufacturing company, for instance, you may have wholesalers or distributors or retailers. These are all channel members that you need to manage them. So managing the relationship with them to ensure that they are also motivated to buy and sell more, so that in the end we shall meet or exceed our target. So distribution involves inventory management, it involves warehousing, it involves logistics. And one of the duties of the marketer is to ensure that all these are well managed, that in the end there's value, that in the end products are not out of stock, because customers do not want to hear issues of we don't have it, we've run out of it. Customers are not interested in those things. So it is the work of the marketer to plan, to know that, okay, if every month we consume 100 boxes and it takes 2 weeks to manufacture, getting the raw materials from our suppliers through the manufacturing process is going to take 2 weeks. And every month or every 2 weeks, we consume 100. What we then have to do, we need to plan and forecast. So having the trend or knowing the trend, we're able to project in order to avoid stockouts. So once we hit 100 or a little over 100, we need to start the process so that we will not run out. So for instance, you set the minimum reorder level to, let's say, 150, depending on your consumption levels. So once it hits 150, you know that it takes 2 weeks to produce or to get your products from your suppliers. And that 2 weeks is enough to manage what you have in order not to run out. And this involves planning. This involves forecasting. And that is the work of the marketing manager. But in the end, it is about creating value to both parties. Now, the parties involved here are the provider, that is the company or the firm, and then the customer. Okay, so value to the customer, because the customer is going to enjoy the benefits of the product. And to the firm, they are also going to enjoy economic value or monetary value, because there's always an exchange. So exchange for something. So you give the product to the customer, you take the money in return. So almost all businesses have marketing careers. We look at manufacturing. Of course, once we manufacture, we need to sell. So marketing will look at the upper side of the whole supply chain. Okay, the up end of the whole supply chain process. So we need to, once we manufacture, we have to store the products in the warehouse, manage the inventory, get the product to the whoever is in the chain. If we have a distributor, we supply the distributor. The distributor also supplies to the retailer, and then you and I can walk to the retailer and buy the product. So it requires a lot of channel members here, and therefore we need to manage them as well. Retail, wholesale. Now, at the retail end, now in Ghana, we see retail also springing up. Now we have ShopRite, we have Maxmart, we have Palace, we have Melcom, and several others joining. And that creates a lot of job opportunities for you and I as marketers, because we need to manage the retail outlet to ensure that we don't run out of stocks, to ensure that there's customer experience, that customer service is at the optimum. So customers walking in would be happy because they get what they want, the speed of service, the ambience of the environment. All these are inputs from the marketing manager. Transportation services. So transportation services, we are all dealing with customers. And so there must be that interface. And that interface is coming from the marketer to identify your customers. Even if it is freight services, you need to identify your customers so that the container will not come empty. The container should come carrying something. And you need customers to do that. And remember, there's competition, and that is where service excellence always make the difference. Community or social services. Yes, we are also required to give back to community or even engage in some social services as marketers. It's about the well-being of the customer. It's about giving back to the community. And education. In education, these days, from basic through the secondary to tertiary, we all have to market our programs. We have to market our products or services. So these days, when you open the radio, you tune into an FM station, for instance, you hear most of the schools advertising. You hear most of the schools advertising, trying to create awareness of a service that they are also offering, something that will also be good or help your wards. Even at the tertiary level too, yes, we promote. And we need a marketing office to manage our programs, to manage the services that we render, to ensure that student experience is at the optimum. So marketers are needed across board, wherever. So we look at, again here, we look at, for instance, the apparel industry, fashion, clothing. We need to market, we need to identify our customers' needs. We need to know what is trending so that we can also come out with very fashionable products or dresses that will appeal to the customer. Because in the end, it's about what satisfies the needs of the customer. The customer has needs and wants, and I believe we are all customers. We all have needs and wants. So in the apparel industry, things change at a very fast rate, okay? And sometimes it is even difficult to project what customers may want, because now what we used to wear in the 80s are coming back. Okay, the pants that we used to wear in the 80s and the trousers with the big bars, they are all coming back. Okay, but at a point we thought they were all colo, but now it is coming back as something that is trending. Okay, so over the marketers should be able to read into the mind of the customer to know what customers may want or may need, and then design their products to suit the needs of these customers. Healthcare. Now when we look at even the Ghana Health Service, they no longer call their patients patients, they call them clients, because they've realized that they are there for the customer, and that the customer also has a voice. The customer has inputs to make, and so they now call them clients. Okay, so we've moved away from the patient, which was more of, I mean, as the name implies, you have to just keep quiet, you don't know anything, and see what the doctor does for you. But now we are clients, so we have a voice. Okay, and therefore we need a marketer to also manage the activities of the clients to ensure that client experience is assured. So nurses, doctors, pharmacists, whoever is involved may have to change their orientation towards the changing customer. Okay. Financial services. Now we see our friends all over the place trying to sell some products to us. Sometimes you are in the office and someone may knock. Yes, we have to sell our products. So we have the sales reps who go around, or sales managers who may go around to sell products of their firms to prospective customers or even current customers. We've talked about manufacturing, travel, and tourism. Marketers play a critical role in this area. So for instance, if you look at the hospitality industry, managing hotels, restaurants, it's about customers. it's about customer experience. So what can we do differently to differentiate our service from the others, to make it more appealing to our customers? And that is the work of the marketer. The marketer is supposed to be creative in his thinking and ensure that you put in the proper measures. It is about satisfying or delighting your customer. Food services, sports. Now, a lot of people are diverting their attention to sports marketing because, of course, that is where the money is. Okay, anything sports is money. Okay, it's gold. So many people are now focusing or diverting their attention to sports marketing. Okay, your ability to market a club like Asante Kotoko, a big club like that, and these days they are even struggling financially. Why? Why should that happen? But if they have a good marketer, he may be able to lead to get sponsors or sponsorship for the club, and then also get more people going to the even Hearts versus Kotoko, and the stadium is empty. Okay, we need to market our football activities in the country, and that also requires the work of the marketer. And then retailing, we've talked about that, the fact that now all these retail giants are springing out here in Ghana, ShopRite among others. So marketers' job, just as the doctors, marketers also have general or generalist areas and specialized areas. So just as doctors, some of them are general practitioners, some are specialists. Likewise, in marketing, we have that. So, for instance, if you are managing a department store like Melcom, okay, you are a general marketer because you do almost everything. You have to make sure you are managing your stocks, make sure customers are happy, you make sure everything is well in place. So there's a lot expected of you. You need to promote your activities, etc. Likewise, if you are a product or brands manager, a lot is expected of you. For instance, if you take a firm like Unilever, so Unilever, they have brand managers who manage certain categories of their products. So whatever happens to that category, you are responsible. So if the category fails to deliver, you lose your job. Okay? And if the category performs well, you keep your job. So here, it is your duty to manage these brands or the product lines within that category, promote them, make sure that, yes, they offer the value that customers desire from using that product. And then if you're a marketing manager, you also plan, you do research from time to time, you manage, you forecast, you advise management on what to do. So that is more of general, because you need to plan your promotion as well. So it's not just getting the product and pushing the product onto the customer, but also all the activities required for you to do. But when you look at the specialized areas, for instance, someone may focus mainly on sales. So you focus on the product that he's selling. Gain more ideas or enough knowledge on the product, because before you come to me to detail a product to me, you must know your product. And when you are detailing your product to me as a sales rep, you don't come and tell me about or try to condemn competing products. No, you focus on your product. Tell the customer what is in it for him, the value that the product may offer. Not condemning your competitor's product. You are just doing the work of for the competitor. You are not selling your product. So that's why you focus. You focus on your product and ensure that you always meet or exceed your target. And again, if the product does not perform, it means you are not doing your work well. You have to lose your job. Okay. And one area of marketing that is very lucrative is sales. Okay, sales is very lucrative. Someone may also focus on advertising. So we see our advertising agencies. Okay, they are there to also help sell concepts to clients or to firms who want to promote their brands and help them come out with a concept that will catch the attention, because at the end of the day, it's about getting the attention of the customer. And these days, if you find yourself in the advertising area, you know there's clutter. So if you are not creative, if the concept is not nice, no one will even hear of the advert. No one will pay attention to the advert. And then your advert will just get lost in the clutter. There's this advert that was run in the 90s, and we still remember the key soap advert, Medofupa. I know most of us did not see that advert, but it's on YouTube, so you can go and see. Okay. So, that advert was very creative and something that could easily catch your attention. It puts you in suspense, so you want to see to the end. Okay, not some adverts that start with so much noise that you just lose interest in it. So if you specialize yourself in the area of advertising, creativity is key. And of course, in marketing, we say that it is a science and an art. Now, the art part is the creative part, that you have to be creative in what you do. And then PR, public relations. Most of the times, this department is reduced to damage control. Okay, unless something happens before you hear of them. But they also play a critical role in the firm's operations. Okay, and marketers can also serve in these departments. And then marketing research. So now we have a lot of research agencies that you can also take up jobs there. Okay, that you go out to administer questionnaires, and then you come and analyze the data and advise the firm on what to do. Because now we are trying to promote research. Okay, decisions must be informed by research. We know that most of our firms, particularly in Ghana, they all do try and see. Let's try this and see what happens. Okay, because we make decisions that are not supported by facts or data. We just make decisions because we had a dream. Okay, and we wanted to do this. In the dream, this is what we did. So we come to work on Monday morning, call for management meeting and tell them what to do. But it is not supported by data. And oftentimes, we get it wrong. Oftentimes, we introduce a new product onto the market and the product fails because perhaps we did not do our work well. We did not do any prior research to know whether customers would like it and how they would want it. Okay, so market research or marketing research is also an avenue that we can take up career opportunities. So why jobs in marketing provide career potential? Basically, we are saying that marketing is needed in all organizations, in all industries. Every firm requires the services of a marketer once we deal with customers. Once we deal with customers, we require the work of the marketer because we need to acquire and retain our customers. We need to build relationships with our customers. So it offers, we say that marketing is one of the fastest growing fields. And these days, there are a lot of people employed as sales reps. There are a lot of people employed as sales reps. So it offers exciting opportunities for dynamic, creative people. If you are not dynamic, you are not creative, you don't have very strong emotional intelligence, you may fail if you take up the job of a sales rep because a customer objects to what you are saying and you begin to cry. A customer may say something nasty and it gets into you and you are crying. You can't survive as a sales rep. Okay, you need to be up and doing, self-motivated, self-driven, and who is very dynamic and creative. Creative because you are dealing with people. Creative because you are also competing with others. So if you are not creative enough to win your customers, your competitor will win them, and in the end, you will not meet your target. So marketing skills are useful in any career because they involve understanding business as well as relating and communicating effectively with others. Now, communication is key. Our communication behaviors are key. Okay, so all these are some of the skills that we need also as marketers. So these are some career areas in marketing. We've talked about marketing research. We've talked about advertising and promotions, okay, that we can take up jobs in here. Even for the advertising agencies, you can also serve as a sales rep at the same time as a creative director. Okay, so there are several opportunities there. We talk of product and brand management, that we have to manage particular brands. So firms that have quite a number of product lines or product portfolios may categorize their products into product categories, and therefore they may assign someone who would manage this category, someone who would manage this category. And that also opens up avenues for us as marketers. We've talked about distribution and warehousing, that we can also take up jobs there as a distribution manager, because your duty is to make sure you manage your inventories well, you make sure you manage your channel members. Because when we look at the business environment, we're talking about the intermediaries, those that we serve them for them to also resell. So we need to manage them, and managing them, you need someone who understands customers and someone who understands the dynamics within the industry. And then sales rep or sales manager, we see them all over the place. Even this morning, there are some insurance guys knocking. I call them walking, knocking, talking. So they will knock and then come in and tell you what they have on offer. Okay, and trust me, this job is lucrative, because in most cases you get commissions if you're able to meet or exceed your target. But hey, it's not easy. You really have to push yourself, and if you are not that type, you can't survive. Okay, retailing jobs are also opened for us. Service marketing. Now, services are controlling or contributing so much to the nation's GDP. For instance, in Ghana, the recent publication from the Ghana Statistical Service is accounting or reporting about 54% of service contribution to GDP. So we see that the service industry is growing. We have the banks, we have the insurance, education, warehousing, transportation, etc. So the service industry is growing, and they are all trying to compete to survive. And that is where they also need the work or the help of the marketer, because at the end of the day, it's about the customer's wallet. You need to keep your eye on the customer's wallet, what we call share of wallet. Now we've moved away from market share to share of wallet, because it's about the customer, and we are all competing for the same customer. So there are a lot of job avenues here. Relationship manager. So you can work as a relationship manager, you can be a sales rep, can be the sales manager, you can be a key account manager, etc. And then customer service. So being the customer service manager who ensures that customers are happy, customers are excited, customers are delighted, that customers' needs are met or even exceeded. Okay, so that we create that experience, that environment for our customers. And we need them now, even not just sitting there, but even online. Okay, providing online support. These days, when you visit some of the websites, you see a window that pops up that there's an advisor. If you are ready to chat with an advisor, you do. So all these are online customer supports that we need someone who also understands customers to interact with them. And then we've talked about the public relations. Now, before we look at the supply chain side, let's look at some well-recognized traits and skills needed for success in marketing careers. We talk about people skills. Yes, people skills, because we are dealing with customers. So if you don't have a very good or excellent interpersonal skills, how to even communicate, you may not be able to even approach the customer, let alone to sell your product to that customer. And you must also understand the various types of people that you may be dealing with. There are some customers who may be very harsh, who may be hostile, who may disrespect you, but hey, it's part of the job. I call it occupational hazard. Okay, so you need these people skills to survive. Communication skills, the way we communicate to people, what we say, how we say it. Okay, how we say it is critical, because how you say it could mean something different, could even upset the customer. And that's why I like our Equiapim brothers and sisters. You know, they will garnish it nicely. As compared to the Achims, who are very blunt, we say it as it is. I'm an Achim person, so I know. We say it as it is, no hard feelings. And then we later come back and still play with you as if nothing happened. Okay, so we need to develop assertive communicative behaviors. Assertive behaviors rather than abrasive or aggressive behaviors, so that we will be able to communicate well, at least have some empathy and empathize with our customers. So we put ourselves in their shoes. Decision-making skills. Because it requires planning and forecasting, you need to make certain decisions. Okay, do we have to develop this product? Do we have to buy this quantity? You need to make certain decisions. Advise management on what to do. Creativity, we've talked about this. People knowledge. You must know your customers. You must know what they want, why they want it, why they do what they do. You must be able to understand your customers. And then mathematics, math skills. Those of us who are afraid of math, wherever you go, it will chase you. Why do we need math here? You need to forecast. You need to make projections. Even if you submit your budget, you need to tell the finance department the return on marketing investment. If you should spend 500,000 on this promotion, how much are we expecting? You need to be able to tell the finance director the return on investment, how much you'll be expecting. So wherever we go, whatever we do, orders come in, sometimes you need to do some computation. So you need to also sharpen your maths skills, at least the basic ones. And then technology know-how. We live in the era of technology, and so we cannot do without technology. And as a firm or as a marketer, you should be able to take advantage of technology. We all spend hours on Facebook or social media platforms, but what do we do? Just liking and chatting, isn't it? Not for anything productive. But we can also use these platforms to engage with our customers. We can use these platforms to sell our products. Okay, so we can use it in a more productive way than just chatting and gossiping. Okay, we are very good at gossip, especially the guys. You know, the guys gossip more than the ladies these days. So the trend has changed. Okay. Okay. So training and development. As a marketer, you know, marketing is a profession. And that's why we have Chartered Institute of Marketing. Okay, we have the Ghana Charter as well. So once it's a profession, you need to undergo certain training so that at least you develop the skills, you develop the knowledge, and what you need to survive. So we have the BSc. Now, after the BSc, what do? Do you want to pursue a higher degree, master's degree, marketing, sales management, advertising, international marketing, etc.? Or you want to come into academia like myself, so you do a PhD in marketing. Or you want to become a professional marketer, and therefore you need to take the professional courses. Now, the professional courses, if you do a BSc in marketing, you get exemptions from here, and therefore you are likely to do the professional diploma. Once you pass, you move on to do the professional postgraduate diploma, after which, if you have some working experience as a marketer, you can apply for chartered status, or you go further to pursue the professional chartered postgraduate diploma, which is automatic. Once you pass, you charter, then you become a chartered marketer, and you can use the letters. And we have a pin that we usually use, okay, to decorate yourself. So wherever you go, everybody knows that you are a chartered marketer. Now, what it means is that you are up to date. You know what is trending. You know what is new in your area of practice. You could also divert to other areas of interest because the course is versatile. So you can move to supply chain. You can move to, even if you want to do HRM, my friends here will support you, will admit you. So you can move or divert to other areas as well. However, there are a lot of opportunities in this area that you don't want to run away from. Okay, that you want to really carry yourself as a marketer, okay, to make a difference, to make an impact, okay, by contributing significantly to the success of the organization. And the success of the firm largely depends on you as the marketer. If you're unable to acquire and retain your customers, the firm collapses, and you will be held responsible, accountable. Okay, so the success of the firm largely depends on you as the marketer. So let's look at supply chain management. Now, supply chain management, I would say, is an end-to-end. So we have the downstream, the upstream. Now, marketing looks at the upstream, but supply chain covers all because it's an integrated network. Okay, so for supply chain, we say that everyone is involved and systems approach to reducing cost. In the end, is about creating value. Of course, if we look at even the value chain, I believe most of us have been taught, at least you've taken some course in management or marketing, so you understand the supply chain or the value chain. It's all about creating value to the customer and reducing cost of operations, okay, that the firm will be more efficient. Okay, so one of the main goals of supply chain is to ensure that the firm is efficient, the firm is effective, and that cost reduction does not replace quality. So even though we want to reduce cost, but we maintain quality, okay, because quality that will deliver or offer value to the customer. So they say that this is a management of network of interconnected businesses, and it involves everyone within the firm, from when we sourced our raw materials to the finished product to the end user. So downstream and upstream. So we say end to end, and we need to integrate whatever we do. So the supply chain is all about effective integration of sourcing the right material, because we need to get the right product or the right material at the right quality. Okay, so if the goal or the objective of the firm is to ensure quality, it must start from our raw materials. If you go and source some substandard raw materials, that will also affect the quality of the final product. So we must ensure that we source the right quality at the right quality, and ensuring that our product, our finished product, also is of a certain quality standard. So getting the right product at the right quantities, the right quality, at the right place, at the right time, and at the right value. Okay, and here is about cutting cost or reducing cost. But as I said, we are not reducing cost to replace quality or compromise on quality. We are reducing cost to still maintain the quality so that at least the price that the product will be sold to the final consumer may also come down, and then the firm may also realize significant profits. Okay, and that is what supply chain is about, the integration of all this, which means it requires everyone within the loop, end to end. So it involves the IT guys, it involves HR, it involves procurement, it involves marketing, it involves everyone within the organization. Okay. So again, with supply chain career opportunities, it is also listed as one of the top 10 forces of business world in the 21st century. Of course, once we look at the end-to-end, then indeed it offers several opportunities. It offers several opportunities, not just purchasing and supplying, but also ensuring that there's value, ensuring that there are some cost reductions, ensuring that there's quality. So quality is assured. And here, career opportunities exist also in abundance. And again, you can work in almost every organization, because every organization deals with supply issues. We have to procure goods for our own internal use. We have to also sell products A, B, C from our output to the customers. So it involves everyone within the firm. So opportunity to work with people throughout the company could be in the logistics area, IT, manufacturing, etc. So let's look at some of the opportunities here. So we look at manufacturing industries. Okay, manufacturing industries, what do? You need your raw materials, and then you process it to the finished product. Now, after the finished product, you need to store it in a warehouse before you sell or you market to your customers. And then if there are any after-sales service, you provide. Okay, so the supply chain professional is also required here to ensure that you identify the right suppliers who have the required quality and quantity as well, so that you avoid shortages, and also negotiate for better deals so that you can reduce costs and also maintain quality of the finished product, and ensure that the product is stored at the right temperature, at the right place, so that the product is there, is available to be delivered or supplied to the customer. When we look at merchandising firms like the wholesalers, distributors, or retailers, we also are needed there. Our services are needed there as the supply chain manager. Okay, because if you're a distributor or a wholesaler or a retailer, you're also procuring. Okay, you procure from your suppliers. How do you identify your suppliers? Do they meet your requirement? So identify the right supplier who has the right product of your choice. Okay, so our services are also needed here. Again, transportation, freight and passenger, okay, also requires the services of the supply chain, because supply chain, we talk about logistics. So logistics is part of supply chain management. And then you can also consult for organizations, okay, in terms of strategy. In the end, is about coming out with a very good supply chain model that could help the organization to be more competitive. It's all about the competitiveness of the firm. So how do we go about it? What kind of strategies must we adopt? Or you work with government organizations, railway, especially Ghana now, we are building railway lines. So there's a lot of work out there for us. Okay. Education or educational establishments, again, even if you are not teaching, you are also involved in the day-to-day running of the institution, and you have to procure and ensuring that you get, for instance, in Gimpa, you ensure we acquire the right air conditions, which will last. So something that will not just be acquired and after a semester we have to replace it, then there's no value for money. So one of the key areas of the supply chain manager is to ensure there's value for money. You acquire something that will last so that the organization can benefit from it. Logistics firms, we can also work there, warehousing and other courier services. And then the service sectors, okay, banks, hospitals, etc. They all require procurement experts or professionals, supply chain professionals to be working in these organizations. So when we look at careers in supply chain management, it cuts across. So operations management, yeah, okay. And that also prepares you for a career in supply chain management. And again, you can continue with a higher degrees in supply chain management, logistics, procurement and supply as your further education, master's or PhD if you want to come into academia. And it's also a profession. So we have professional bodies like the Chartered Institute of Procurement and Supply, CIPS, Chartered Institute of Supply Chain Management, Ghana, Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transportation. Okay, all these are professional bodies that you can also join to take some of their courses, and then once you pass, you become a chartered something. Maybe a chartered supply chain management practitioner, a chartered procurement and supply practitioner, a chartered logistics and transport practitioner. So you go through the various certifications from the certificate, but once you have your degree, you get exemptions. So you may start from here, professional diploma, you move to professional postgraduate diploma, and then you become a professional. So once you've gone through the professional route, every organization will see you as a professional, and that would mean that your premium will also go up. Because if you just end here without the professional certificate, it also affects your premium. When I say your premium, I hope you understand how much you'll be paid, your salary. Okay, so if you have the profession, it puts you a notch higher than just with the degree. Because most of these organizations prefer that you have that professional qualification, because they want to see that, yes, you are a professional, you are there to offer a professional work or professional service to the organization. So we've seen from what are some of the opportunities for marketers and supply chain management. And these are very interesting career paths or career areas, or areas that you can keenly focus and make a good living. Thank you.
Please, I want to know the challenges that marketers face when promoting their products. I want to know if there are some challenges they face. And also, under logistics firms, you made mention of courier services. Can you please tell us what they are?
Courier services like postal services, or even these days we have, let me just come to the micro level where we have the Okada people who are able to send some items from one end to the other, like you order for even food, okay, and then someone may convey it to you. Or in a more bigger sense, it's about freight, okay, carrying goods from one end to the other. Okay. Now, when it comes to promotion, of course, promotion comes with challenges, because, as I said, promotion requires creativity. So, if the concept or the advert is not interesting enough, it may just lose out in the clutter. I mean, if I should mention Adonko Bitters, we all remember the advert because it's interesting. Okay, even though some may not drink, but you still want to see it because it's interesting. Again, if you are a sales rep, for instance, personal selling, in the quest of promoting your product, you may encounter challenges from whoever you want to convince to buy your product, because they may object to it. They may have a different view altogether, which may counter what you have said. Okay, all these are some of the challenges. Or your advert may not sell at all, so it will not really make any impact, and therefore you lose out and you lose your investment. So there are a number of challenges. Okay, for instance, there's the mindset that if a product makes so much noise, that means the product is not good. That perception is there. So all these are part of the challenges. But in all these, it requires creativity, and also if you're a sales rep, you have to be resolute. You should be able to withstand the shocks that will come, because some will make certain comments that may really kill your spirit.
The question is, being a marketer, how do you penetrate to the market, considering a new product and also considering your competitors? My second question is, you made mention of a billboard, and sometimes you walk around town and you see billboards and where they are positioned. Sometimes you wonder if people are seeing it or viewing it, and what impact is it making on it?
It's just like looking at even radio adverts, the timing, what kind of program you advertise. If you advertise on the morning show, you pay more because many people are listening than the mid-morning or afternoon where people are busy going about their business. Many people may not really pay attention to it, but it's cheaper. The same thing applies to siting of billboards. If your billboard is sited in the city, premium area or premier area, you pay more, okay, because the impact may be very significant than if you go and site it somewhere in some one corner where many people may not even see it. That would be a wrong investment. Yes, you are paying less, but not really making any impact. Okay, because many people may not really see it. Unless where the billboard is sited is an area which is occupied by people who are actually going to use the product, then fine, it's likely to make an impact. Otherwise, or in the quest of saving costs, you lose out and then just lose your investment because it may not really make any impact. So citing your billboard is critical. And then when it comes to penetration, you have a new product. Okay, so you introduce a new product. Like for every product, it goes through a life cycle. So at the introduction phase, you have to be more aggressive, create the awareness. You need to create the awareness for people to get to know that there's a product of this type on the market. If you don't have the funds to do TV or radio adverts, then you need to get sales reps who will be on the field, move from one customer to the other, introducing the product to them, or even like we see on our roads, float. Okay, to create the awareness, because you need to be aggressive with prospective customers and convince them. And here sometimes firms may also want to give some special discounts. Okay, so you want to leverage on price at least to get into the market. So once customers buy it at that reduced rate and they use it and realize that this is a very good product, okay, then later, even if you stop giving the discount, they are still willing to buy because they have come to accept the product. So you have to be aggressive. Can also use price as your tool to penetrate the market.
Can you please throw more light on, give an example of reducing cost and still maintaining quality products? And then the right place. Sometimes you see some products not in a very seeable place, in a corner, but there's people still patronize those products. What is their secret? But sometimes maybe the right place in quotes may be expensive or you cannot afford, but you might be doing the business even in your house, but people will be coming to your house.
we talked about reducing cost and maintaining quality as one, as one of the functions of the supply chain manager. Now, you have to identify your supplier, and then based on the strength of the organization, you can actually negotiate for some very significant discounts. Okay, especially if you are buying large quantities, you're able to leverage on economies of scale. Okay, so because you are buying large quantities, you're able to bargain. You bargain very well to get very good prices, but not compromising on the quality, because you know this is what I want. Okay, but I'm buying this quantity. Could you please reduce it for me or give me some discount? So in the end, you get the product at a very competitive rate or price, but not compromising on quality. So you maintain the quality that you need, but you're able to save some costs on it through your bargaining power. Okay. Then getting the product at the right place. Yes, through the adverts, you're able to tell people or direct people where your product is or the shop is. Okay. There are a lot of instances where firms or outlets are sited outside of the city. Okay, now, outside of the city, what it means is that cost of rent is very low. Okay, even sometimes elsewhere, taxes are reduced when you are outside of the city, which means that your prices will also be low. Okay, so customers who are price sensitive will be willing to come to travel, and it happens all the times. Even if you reduce your price by 1p, so you price it 99 or 19.99, and maybe in Tema it is 22 cedis, and at Medina it is 19 cedis, and so because of that, someone travels from Tema to Medina to come and buy. Okay, because as customers and as human beings, sometimes we behave in a very irrational manner because we forget to quantify the time and the risk that it could be involved in accident in traveling on the motorway just to save 3 cedis or even sometimes 2 cedis. Okay, so these are part of consumer behavior, and that's why in marketing we talk about taking jobs as a marketing researcher. Okay, to understand the way consumers behave, why they do certain things. Okay, consumers behave in a very irrational or funny way, let me put it that way. So that could also bring people.
As a procurement manager, whom do you work hand in hand with? And my second question, what are some of the challenges you face as a procurement manager?
Thank you. As a procurement manager, you are working with all the units within the organization, because when you look at the buying behavior of the firm, okay, there must be someone who initiates. So a unit may request something, okay, because if your unit needs something, let's say a printer, you have to make that request, and you make that request through procurement. Okay, so once procurement receives your request, then they will also identify potential suppliers and then invite for quotations, and then look at the costs or the prices that the suppliers have offered. Okay, different suppliers following the Procurement Act or the law. You need to invite at least 3 different suppliers who provide their bids. Okay, but the issue here is that it is not just about the one who quoted the lowest price, but you are also taking into account some other factors, quality, okay, something that may last. As I use the air conditions as an example, you may not want to go and buy an air condition that may cost maybe 1,002, so you see it as cheap, so you buy 1,002 and it doesn't last. There's no value for money. Rather, I would prefer buying something that may cost 2,000 and last. So I save. Okay. Now, some of the challenges we face within the organization, Again, when we look at the buying behavior, there are some who have very significant influence, and there are some who also have the final decision to make. So as a procurement manager, you may advise the management that we should go for this, looking at past records of these suppliers, looking at their price and the quality. Let us go for this. But maybe a member of the management team who more or less has the final decision may also have his own interest, okay, which may conflict with yours, your proposal or your recommendation. So in the end, they are likely to influence which product to buy, which may not really last. But then because he is the final decision maker, he influenced, and then you have to go and buy. And it doesn't last, and you have to bear the blame, because we will not go and blame the one who said, no, let us buy this. It is you, the procurement manager, who will be blamed, because you've caused financial loss to the firm. Okay, so the work of the procurement manager is quite a challenging one. But it all also depends on the relationship that you build with the members within the organization, especially the management team, and then also your level of integrity. You as a person, your level of integrity, what you stand for. Because as a procurement manager, you must be able to save some money for the organization and procure goods that offer value for money.